Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the IGL podcast. Today we're reviewing Doom.
All right, guys, welcome back to the IGL podcast. I am your host, Justin Gentile.
I am your better host, Tim McGorry.
But let's not get embroiled with any of our nonsense. I want to jump right into the game, and I want to talk about Doom. For the Xbox One, is at least what I picked it up on.
From the people who also played Duke Nukem.
From the studio that brought you Nazi Simulator 2017, it's Doom 4.
From the studio that doesn't know how to spell lid. It's lid.
It's actually, if you turn the box upside down, you're playing wood, which is pretty cool.
I saw that on Reddit too.
Hey, a lot of people don't know. A lot of people don't see Reddit. You're ruining my original material. Somewhat original.
Doom brung that bum. Talk me about it. You've been involved in the Doom campaign. You rented it. I haven't got to really... I've massaged the gameplay of Doom, but I haven't explored its nooks and its crannies.
I mean, thank goodness that I got it.
To uncover its dark secrets.
On the Redbox, honestly. I'm going to say... I'm going to preface the review by just... everything I'm saying is out of love, okay? Doom is a lot of fun. It is super gory. It is very chaotic. It's like a lot. It's just a lot of fun. However, as a $60 game, I would not have been super happy had I paid for it. And then 18 hours later, here I am. I'm talking to you guys about it, and I'm basically done. I have like 2 more bosses to beat, and that's it. So, $3 Redbox rental, incredible. And now we can really kind of get down into the nuts and bolts of it. Did you play Doom a lot growing up? Were you?
Yeah. We had Doom. My dad, we had a Windows 3.1 system at the house, and that thing ran Doom real well. It also ran You Don't Know Jack, but we're not reviewing the update of You Don't Know Jack today. We're reviewing Doom.
No, this is all on floppy, right? Windows 3.1?
Was it? That's No, I'm thinking Doom ran on a disc. Doom ran on like a sincere...
The first time I encountered it was
PC
in like
CD
an
disc.
MS-DOS boot-up scenario. And it was like you had to like do
run Doom C. It's a C prompt, C command prompt, and you go run Doom.exe.
I don't know anything the hell about it, guys. Shit still blows my mind. I don't know how it works.
I could be wrong. Maybe that was like Doom.
It's like when I wanted to play Prince of Persia, I would figure it out in that moment. But like beyond that, like
when you're a Marine in hell, things blur together. I remember Doom being like the game.
Do you have Marine hell PTSD?
Remember the end? Like you get to the end of Doom, or even you do like the level select. Because I never got to level 100 of Doom. Like on my own. It's one of the hardest fucking games. Mm-hmm. But then I tried, and then I'm like, let me see what's going on in the later levels.
There were 100 levels?
Yeah, there was like, they had you put in the cheat thing, and then it, like just select a level you want to play.
Here's a fun fact. Like I know the first Doom, there was no, like the game was generated or whatever. The game was developed at a time when you couldn't even put a level on top of another level. So when you play the original Doom, it's actually an interesting fun fact for you guys that the game is, nothing is on top of itself and everything is branched off from itself. It's pretty interesting in terms of how they had to program it. So like we're playing it now, which it's funny because this Doom is basically the old Doom. Like if I got this sequel in 1999 when Doom 3 or whenever that came out, I would have been the happiest boy. Like, if this was how Duke Nukem Forever turned out, and it actually had this kind of, like, care involved to it, and actually had this sheen that really was involved, I think people would have been a lot more pleased. But here we are, and it's gory.
Yay or nay?
I mean, no, yay. It's as an experience, as a Doom experience, it's totally valid. Like, it is Doom, and it really feels like Doom. There's, like, baby metal music playing throughout the whole thing of, like, breakdowns and hardcore parts, and you're just, like, got your super shotgun out, and you're switching to your rifle, and, like, that's also, I mean, the game is not designed the same way that modern games are, in the sense that, like, a lot of Call of Duty games kind of have levels that are built around their weapons in general. Like, hey, this is more of a sniper level, and we're going to have more of a kind of a cinematic angle of why you're using this weapon and why it makes sense.
Sure.
Doom is nothing like that. Doom is like, you have to just know that shotgun's better for those fast guys, and the rifle's better for those guys because they're a little bit out of range, and other than that, like, that's the most...
From what I played, it was, like, they just seemed like they're just like, you get to a wall. More spawn. We'll just spawn drop like 8 more guys on you. Deal with that.
It's
New section.
that is the
12
difficulty.
more.
The difficulty is just being overwhelmed constantly. And I'm playing on a pretty easy, or not a pretty easy difficulty. I'm playing on like the normal difficulty, not the easy difficulty. But it goes up to, I think, 2 more levels, which, like, there's not a real diverse AI. You know, the AI, the demons aren't like closing the door and opening the door and like coming to see me around a corner or anything. They're kind of like just like shooting at the wall half the time. So it's it makes for some interesting scenarios.
They don't attack you?
It's not so much that they don't attack you, but like a lot of it's very much modeled and designed after a classic game. So when you have a level and like let's say you're in a lab and the lab door is locked until you've cleared the demon threat from the level, sometimes if like maybe it's a little bit of a larger level, you'll be on one side, the door's not unlocked, you think you've kind of killed everyone, and you're kind of looking around for 5 minutes until you're like, oh, there's a zombie, I guess, in like the bottom of the floor, like in a corner, lost somewhere. You have to shoot him, and then the door unlocks.
Oh.
But it's not so much like the zombie's going to go out of his way to find you or anything, or the game's not going to adapt and say like, oh, you've killed enough of these guys, we can unlock this door for you. It's very much like cut and dry in that way.
I haven't played any of the multiplayer online. How's that been going?
I am so multiplayer spoiled right now, to be totally honest with you. We got to play Battleborn. If you guys saw on Twitch, like that was so much fun. And then Overwatch was like crazy. I was obsessed with the Overwatch beta. I must have played that for like over 20 hours. So when you have Doom now, it's so hard to kind of measure up that multiplayer versus it. It's so shallow.
Really?
It's just it's a great time waster. It's almost like harkens back to those like Quake 2 Hexen days, which is nice. But
just dropping a match.
It's not something I really want to invest my time into. Yeah, you're dropping into a match. You can choose, you know, your rocket launcher, your shotgun, or like one other gun, and that's kind of it. There's not really like a lot of diverse gameplay to it. And we were playing Battleborn, and it was like you couldn't think of ways to not play that game. Like there were so many characters and so many different diverse ways to kind of do it that, you know, if you're paying $60 and you're going to amount to like 7 to 8 hours of gameplay and a pretty shallow multiplayer, to me, like I don't understand the resource development of the process. Like, can Bethesda develop this game as an Xbox Live Arcade title to maybe get a quicker return out of it instead of really putting all these resources, all this money and time into a game that I'm going to beat in one day of my Redbox rental?
Well, what signifies it for an arcade title? Isn't that like exclusives usually?
It's more so just like it's really like I think a pricing issue or like a cost issue. Most of the Xbox Live games are going to be like between $5 to $25, you know, mostly. Okay. And that I think also relates to the experience that my expectations are lower with that if I got the kind of single player experience of Doom, 7 or 8 hours of a real tight, fun game, like that would have been a great value at that tier. But then you're putting all this expectation of a $60 game where you're saying, you know, if I'm going to measure that up to, you know, a Call of Duty or a Battlefield or something, it seems a little bit light. It seems a little light on those just resources.
Hey, remember when I ripped that guy's fucking head off with a chainsaw?
That was cool. I mean, it's just my expectations are different now. I'm 28. If I was 13 and I got to play this,
I remember. Sorry.
No, I was just gonna say if Duke Nukem Forever turned out like this, I would have been so happy. Like. It really does give you that joy, just like you're just
put on
running
sunglasses
through the levels.
and just smoke a cigar during this game.
you're careless. You got a little stripper over there.
And just quote Bruce Campbell.
Oh, groovy, baby.
There you go. Nice.
Yeah.
But it's more macho. But
I play that mod.
What I liked about the Doom game was when you shoved that laser up the guy's ass, and then you ripped out that demon heart.
Like that's the thing too. Like there was the only time I got stuck in the whole game.
Okay.
The BFG is like a big part of the Doom lore. It's like the best gun in the whole game, and there was a mechanic to get the gun that
best freaking gun.
It's what it stands for? Clever. I can't really explain this. It's inside of a little thing, and there was a laser system that came down.
Sure.
But the game wanted you to shoot the lasers to break the laser system.
God,
to get into the room.
For every time a game's asked me to shoot a laser.
But exactly. You didn't do that in the rest of the game at all. There's no other part of the game that's like that whatsoever. And then they introduced kind of this new mechanic where... I guess if that's a way to pad out your gameplay so you have more, you know, a longer game, that, and it seems like they padded out with kind of these skill challenges too, where like you have rune challenges, they're called, and they give you different abilities and skills, but it's just a time waster.
They're
you
just
know,
waves.
it's just
Are they waves?
no. It's usually like one wave. It'll be like kill 10 enemies in 30 seconds with a shotgun,
And
and
well,
then
like, what's the reward of it? Like, say you accomplish like what?
that when
buff
you
your
do
character?
glory, you do glory kills and they drop more armor or more ammo, and like it's just very trivial. It seems like you could beat the entire game without having to ever do that, but if you're trying to pad out your gameplay and say, well, we have 13 hours of gameplay, then you have to complete those.
Maximize your visual experience, dear boy.
Yeah, well, the secret levels too. There was the secret. They're kind of like original Doom maps.
Yeah, I saw you. Oh,
And that's visually cool,
here.
but like that, if that's gonna pad out my gameplay to give me 3 extra hours of gameplay, I'd rather play the original Doom. Just give me that. I don't know.
It looks
If you're
fun.
flush with cash, buy it or Redbox it, like I did. Gotta give props. Shout out to the Redbox.
Redbox, thanks again for killing Blockbuster. I was working as a manager, but who cares?
It's not important. I mean, will anything ever match the feeling of going through aisles and selecting boxes? No. Well, actually, that would be cool.
Casually tapping someone on the shoulder in front of the Redbox.
I'm working on that.
What you think about? Ah! Everyone's like fucking.
Or you don't fucking talk to me. Yeah. You know, but VR Blockbuster. I think that would be that's going to be a big app.
A VR Blockbuster.
It'll be like a virtual reality Blockbuster, and you can like walk around and you like look at the box, and you can put the box back, and then your dad yells at you every 5 minutes. He's like, "Come on, get in the car." It's gonna be the best.
That's good stuff.
Really immersive. So we'll see you guys on our next episode. We want to give a shout out quick to everyone else at HollywoodRedux.com.
K-Files. Writer's Room.
Writer's Room podcast. They're
Our
talking about
podcast, which you might be watching.
Why not shout out the IGL podcast? You could shout out yourself. But confidence, you guys. You got to be confident sometimes.
What's your name
I'm sorry,
again?
sometimes, all the time. So check us out. We'll have the links up there for you. And I'm Justin Gentile.
I'm Timothy McGorry. Thanks for listening and watching on Hollywood Redux. Remember to subscribe below.
We'll see you next time.